Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to Billy Goat's Prophetic Vessel. It's your girl, Billy Goat. And we got a message for you, but also, this is also kind of like a venting session for me. All right. So, I'm going to start off with saying, I command in God's name that all entities, parasites, and evil monitoring, said Lord. I command in God's name that all entities, parasites, and evil monitoring spirits that are cloaked in the cloak, you block, blinded, and deaf, and return back to sinners and replace with good. According to God, Yahweh, Yeshua Christ, will it so it is, and thank you. All right, so I'm not, I am overcoming not feeling the best. And when I say that, you know, I have been trying to do that for years. It has just been getting harder and harder, it feels like. You know, and initially I created this channel because, for those of you guys that don't know, my initial platform and main platform really is Don't Want Spiritual Guidance. That's my YouTube. We have other social medias with that, right? So I created essentially this platform for me to like have an outlet, like, but also invite soul tribe members that have similarities, right? Other Capricorns, other chosen ones, other, soldiers of the Holy Spirit, right? When we are overcoming different types of warfare that is just so, it just feels so inhumane, right? So that people don't feel like they are alone, right? So I'm here as Billy. I'm also here as Nikki. Okay, my name is Nikki, and I am so tired of being spiritually raped and spiritually molested. Like I feel like the straw has really broke the camel's back here. For those of you guys that don't know, I have been getting spiritually raped and spiritually molested since the summer of no the beginning of 2024, and the spiritual rape and spiritual molestation progressed. Okay. And it's 2026, and guess what? It's still happening, guys. Okay. Now, when I'm so basically, I mean, a lot of people get spiritually raped and spiritually molested. This is the causation for a lot of sacral chakra ailments and, so on and so forth. With clairsentience, okay? Because for those what do you mean spiritually raped, spiritually molestation? I am very active when it comes to my gifts. And one of them is clairsentience, okay? Being able to feel spiritual presences, right? Those that have out of body experiences and they want to astral travel to you, right? Demons, right? Otherworldly beings that are dark and have hidden dark manipulation and violate you. Some of y'all seen like Exorcist or Poltergeist movies, right? You've seen energies get like scratches and touched on and stuff like that. Well, this ain't a movie. This is real life, okay? And someone in real life, hello, that is happening to, okay? Um for some of you guys, this could be something that could be happening with you. Happy Sabbath day. Mhm. This could be something that is happening or may happen in the future, because some of the spiritual rape and spiritual molestation is due to the plague that we've been talking about here, that a lot of people have, but they don't know the plague rapture part two. So yeah, guys, like I'm just, kind of fed up with being spiritually raped and spiritually molested, like I'm fed up with it. And I'm coming on here so I can have an outlet, because I really don't have a good support system. Like I don't have that yet, right? Cuz I believe that I eventually will. Um but it just hasn't happened yet. Um I have a spiritual support system, right? Like I got my spiritual team and so on and so forth. That looks over me, right? God and the angels and other ET galactic forces, right? My soul fam that, is just, when you are a spiritual being having a physical experience, you really need that physical support with no demonic strings, right? So, and mind you, I am a soldier for God. So it's like, I understand that warfare is going to exist. It's just that, even God is almighty and he has earth angels to do work and deliver messages for him. God is almighty and he even has not just a subset of angels, 9 different species of angels that are very powerful, that help God and deliver messages and fight on his behalf and so on and so forth. And God is almighty. And so I just feel a little unsupported where I am right now, knowing that the divine is going to change circumstances for me for the better. It's just that, this is no laughing matter, and this has been going on for too long. One time too many, too long. And I didn't have an outlet, so I am going to do a reading for you guys too. I just, I needed to get that out. So I hope that that is some sort of like inspiration for you guys. Like if you feel like pissed off with God, or if you lost your way when it comes to God and your belief in God and your faith in God, because you feel like, well, when I was going through X, Y, and Z, where was God then? If I where I was going through X, Y, and Z then, where was God then? God was right there. Just like I was being spiritually raped and molested like maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour before I got on here. And God was right there while it was happening. And so was my spirit team. And so was some angels. They was right fucking there while I was being abused. But they're always there while I'm being abused. Like that is never the doubt or the question. You see, people seem to get pissed off because they think that they don't have like spiritual support or God is not there. I know that God's there. That's never a doubt. That's never a shadow of a doubt. I get pissed off because God is there. God is almighty. There is nothing that God can't do. God specializes in doing the impossible. So for me, it's like, God, I understand that I am a soldier and a warrior for you, and a ranked one at that. Also at the same time, baby, you got X, Y, and Z. Like, can I just get a little bit more with this mission here? Right? Because it is a specific mission that this is also tied to, right? So I'm overcoming spiritual abuse from dark galactic forces who are also in cahoots with certain people in the physical realm that's been throwing black magic my way and my bloodline's way and other folks' way, um because they are trying to they do several things. They're trying to take over the world, for those of you that know, especially my higher level souls. They are trying to, they don't like the fact that I have ancient knowledge. I'm a very old soul. I'm ancient. I've been here several times. Okay, don't let the vessel fool you. Um, so they're targeting me for speaking the truth because it's outing them and their demonic systems. So them spiritually raping and molesting me is like them trying to get me to be so pissed off with the divine that I will stop or give up my purpose so that they can do like a destiny swap so they can have my gifts. And keep in mind, I'm a part of the collective. So I'm just aware of what's going on spiritually and how that's manifesting in the physical realm for me. I am in constant contact with source, but that doesn't mean the shit feels good going through it, right? So I'm just tired of going through this extent of things, particularly by myself in the physical realm. And some of you guys could be going through the same thing. I'm a chosen one. I am a Capricorn as well, right? And I'm a part of the collective. And I came here to help raise the collective consciousness. So if you've been having a lot of sacral issues, that is by no mistake. If you have been being heavily targeted by dark galactic beings, okay, you've been waking up with scratches and bruises on your body, you've been constant nonstop arguments with your family, constant division, losing shit here and there, you know, feels like you can't keep shit, that is by you are being spiritually targeted. Okay, now don't get it twisted. There are things, karmic debt related and so on and so forth. God does take you through certain seasons and different aspects, but in this message, this realm, I'm talking to the ones where y'all been cheated, y'all been gypped, right? Y'all haven't been properly supported, properly treated fairly, properly respected, even if motherfuckers don't like you, right? So, healers need healing too. And I I am a healer that is also a model. I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to shield away certain things that I'm overcoming because, well, how would you guys know that people are going through this if they don't talk about it? You're really going to feel alone then. So I don't want you guys to feel how I'm feeling. But if you are, understand and know that God is there, right? God is there. Just like I'm telling you, I just got spiritually raped and molested about an hour to 45 minutes ago. And God was right there. And you want to know something, for those of you guys that haven't heard a little bit of my story, the spiritual rape and spiritual molestation has happened every day while I'm showering, eating, and just to let the astral realm know, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, typical coping skills until this subset passes is not an actual coping skill. Okay, so for example, if people suggest, oh, coloring and watching a movie or hanging out with friends, going to an arcade, you know, uh, um, meditating. Those are healthy coping skills. However, when you're on a mission like me and when you are overcoming the type of um, abuse that I am overcoming, they spiritually rape me through those coping skills. So like I could be coloring and then they'll come and start trying to spiritually rape and molest me. I could be trying to meditate and use my spiritual gifts and here they come trying to spiritually rape and molest me. I could be doing tarot and then I have plenty of videos where I was getting spiritually raped and molested. I just didn't say shit. I thugged it out. You feel me? I could be eating food, dinner, lunch, don't matter. They come spiritually rape and molest. I could be driving, fam. And here they come, spiritually. I could be walking in a grocery store. And here come people coughing, trying to let me know, hey. Yeah, I can feel. The typical coping skills don't work for me as of right now. Not that they never will. So it's like, if any of you guys do get to that point where your typical coping skills don't work for you, through the type of abuse that you are overcoming or warfare that you're overcoming, keep searching, right? So like this, being on here, this is it's it's not the first choice that I wanted to do, but it is a option better than anything, me doing anything negative, right? Um, yeah, oh, and then hanging out with people, right? The dark side uses those people as portals. Ask me when the last time I was able to hang out with a friend back in what? This 2024, right? Because they use the people as portals to spiritually rape and molest me. Do you know that they spiritually raped and molested me at a funeral? They spiritually raped and molested me in a church. They do not care. They don't care. Do I experience? Oh, I've experienced plenty of gaslighting and manipulation from karmics. Shit, I'm overcoming that now. On a spiritual sense and in a physical sense. You feel me? So, deep breath. Um, but I hope that if you are any of you are whenever you're seeing this, you know, days, weeks, months, years from now, hopefully if you are, you know, you going through it, you overcoming shit, you don't know how you're gonna make it, hopefully that this can provide some support for you as far as express how you feel in a way that you can, that is healthy and positive, and know that God and your spirit team is there. But also know too, two things can be true at once. It can still feel like a shitty situation that you really don't want to deal with and want to get out of. Okay? So for all of you guys that was wondering and have been wondering, probably still wondering, where was God when? Where was God when? God was right there. Some of you guys may not know you have been soldiers for God, so a part of warfare is gaslighting, rape, molestation, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. None of those things are okay. And we are not supposed to stay in an environment or around those that treat us like that. Also, at the same time, easier said than done. Everybody doesn't have the resources everybody doesn't have the resources to just pick up and go, right? For one reason or another. You know, and the abuse could be, you know, dealing with dark galactic beings. It could be dealing with family members. It could be dealing with um you know, siblings, you know, your lovers or friends, co-workers, or unfortunately multiple, all the above, you know, for some. Um and so it can just feel like a whole lot of pressure, especially when you are trying to um be and do on your mission with God, right? And that's another reason why they've been spiritually raping and molesting me too, not to just steal energy from me, but to keep me from helping you guys, to keep me from bringing out the medicine for the collective, right? Like they just siphon my energy now because they're like, oh, how dare you? Because that's what they've been doing to people, trying to oppress people so badly to where they just want to give up. They don't want to be in their purpose anymore because it's too hard. They're making it too hard. So let's make it so hard that they want to give the fuck up. Right? And it's like, I know your fucking tactics, bro. But I need a fucking outlet. Like I need, you know, and they know. So it's like they, you know, be careful. Just be careful because God says, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. And I'm telling you, the devil finds different ways to say, okay, well, let's make circumstances so bad that they would want to themselves. And let's put in different implanted thought forms. So there's implants called implanted thought forms, right? Where the dark side, right, the otherworldly galactic dark beings, where in entities, principalities, and powers, they will literally put the implants and hooks in your brain, your mental, your crown chakra. They will put them wherever they feel like they want to siphon, and they will put negative thoughts like and loop them. And don't get it twisted. You have your own thought processes too. It doesn't help when those added thought processes are provoked manually from dark beings because they're purposely trying to screw you up. God did not design us to have any type of dark programming within our DNA structure. So when we are dealing with those type of dark programmings, and oh my gosh, there's so much, it makes you gain weight. It makes you lose the type of life force that you was going to initially have if you didn't have all of those things in. And let me be frank with you. Um, they don't want, I know, they don't want you to know the stuff. They don't want you to know because the dark side is literally dependent on the energy that they have already stolen from us. And a whole lot more, but that as much as I will say. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling these vibes, guys, okay? So, we have judgment here. So, God is casting judgment down on, all the situations, right? We got the Seven of Swords in reverse here. So, judgment down on any lies. So if your family, friends, lovers, coworkers, if they have been lying on you and things of that nature, if they try to lie or steal something from you, so that they could be in a King of Pentacles status, God is calling judgment on that. Okay. Um, it also, like, it could be multiple people for some of you guys that they try to do this too. Three of Pentacles. Look at that. I said multiple people. Look at Three of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this is a group. Oh, excuse me. Yep, spiritual barb. This is a group of people. A group, and not just a group of people. A group of dark collective beings too. You have to understand. This has been going on for centuries. People they had to gaslight the society so freaking bad. So, like, for example, I've been overcoming depression. The spiritual aspect of depression is entity attachments and other forms of spiritual dark programming that suppresses and oppresses and causes different emotional and mental manipulation that not everyone knows about, right? Because again, free will. God gave us free will to even believe in him. And so there's a lot of energies that you have people who are therapists or medical doctors, and they don't believe in God, or hindsight, they may worship the devil. You don't know, right? Or nothing at all, atheist, whatever, right? But just because a person might be an atheist, that don't mean that God ain't real, right? All right, so this is for entertainment purposes, by the way. So when you're dealing with different spiritual warfare and different spiritual programming, and entity attachments, right, especially parasitic, that's going to manifest in the physical realm as different things, right? And so because of the gaslighting, right, we were talking about gaslighting earlier, right? So because of the spiritual gaslighting, which has manifested in the physical realm as, and let me tell you, this is from the Akashic records, right? So spiritual Akashic records, for those that know, um your so if you're dealing with like depression, these are depression, anxiety, you know, um PTSD. Listen, it PTSD I'll say is a subset because those are the experiences that you're having innately, but also at the same time entities like to take advantage of that too. And I can explain a little bit more of that later. Um, those are the physical vocabulary terms to physically let you know what's going on with you, but spiritually, you may not understand why physically it's manifesting in the form of depression or anxiety or ADHD, if that makes sense. Right? So, like for example, I could be having a depressive episode, where it's difficult for me to get up, difficult for me to do certain shit. And I don't know, like, here we go. I'll do a clearing, right? To extract different demonic programming and entity attachments. If there's a Leviathan attachment, if there's an incubus succubus attachment, y'all know these names, come on. Or if there's a reptilian attachment, you feel me. um Remove those dark programmings or those entity attachments, and then I'll start feeling better. I'll start feeling, Lexapro who what, you feel me. um and this is not to down psychiatry type of medication. I'm in the mental health field. This is based off of Akashic record knowledge, right? I am more than just a therapist. I am also a certified metaphysical practitioner. So I can integrate um, my expertise in this area in both areas and infuse, right? Because again, when you have people in the mental health field that come from different backgrounds, right? Come from an atheist background, come from a demonic background, come from a Christian Catholic background, come from a spiritual background, you're gonna get different takes in addition to um in addition to whatever it is that they may practice. And listen, the therapists, the practitioner is not supposed to impose their own views or what they practice onto the client, right? So essentially, the therapist is supposed to let said people know, like, hey, if you want to work with me, this is what I'm about, this is what I specialize in, such and such and such and such, right? Well, for me, I specialize in past life regressions. And there's other therapists that also has the certification, because there is a certification for you to have a past life regressions in therapy. For those of you guys that don't know, go look them up. So yeah, go get you a therapist that's certified in past life regressions, or they're certified in hypnosis for PTSD trauma. Okay, there are CEUs for, and if you're a therapist watching me, there are CEUs right now that you can go take to get yourself certified and add that on with your licensing. Okay, so you can help dig into their past life and see why they're going through what they're going through. Okay, because traditional therapy, from my point of view, is not enough. You need God, you need the Akashic records, and you need what the angels have to offer. So because that is my standpoint, I do not take clients that are not in alignment with that worldview, if that makes sense. All right, so if a person does not believe in God, you're going to see somebody else. You're not going to come see me, right? So just letting you guys know, if you are, trying to get help, but you feel like you don't understand the different subsets. I'm not taking clients at this moment, any new clients at this moment, I'll say. Okay. Yet. However, if you want services from me in the future, when I do start taking new clients, then you can feel free to email me, right? I am an ordained minister. All right. Again, I am a certified spiritual life coach, therapist, certified metaphysical practitioner. I am a tarot reader, Akashic record reader, psychic surgeon, and I'm a certified Reiki practitioner. All right. So I do have a lot of experience in both areas. Okay, so just to let you guys know, we're going back to the depressive aspect. That's an entity attachment. Schizophrenia, DID, all of these diagnoses is basically the physical terminology to let you know you got a spiritual code. Your spiritual gifts is malfunctioning. Right? And so your spiritual gifts is malfunctioning. And we was talking about gaslighting, right? So the dark side is like, well, shit, what are we gonna do if people start asking questions like why they feeling like this? Why they stuff? What's going on? Well, shit, we gotta tell them that they sick. We we gotta we gotta tell them. We gotta make up a name. We can't tell them that, oh, they have an entity attachment, because then they're gonna clear it. We won't be able to suck the life out of them. It's not funny, but sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. So instead of telling the person that they have an entity attachment, let's say that they got depression, right? Let's just name the symptoms, and instead of digging in the root cause, let's just say that we're not going to tell them that it's a demon that's making them lose shit and making them sick and making them have all this chaos and conflict in their life. We're just going to say that all of this stuff is just, oh, you're overcoming depression or you're overcoming anxiety. We're not going to tell you that it's entity attachments and these different implants that we're using to siphon off of you guys that's causing all these sensory issues and this, that, and these neurodivergencies here. Because essentially, right, we are spiritual beings having a humanistic experience, right? And so it's like when we're supposed to have dreams. That's our home, spirit realm. When people say, oh, I said this the other day in a reading, when people hear like, oh yeah, you're prophetic vessels. So I had a prophetic dream and God showed me this. God told me this. Or I was driving and I heard God say this. I heard God say that, right? Clairaudiently. Or you may hear other prophetic vessels say, I was doing something, I was eating, or I was, da da da, and then God showed me a vision. I had a vision, clear. So that's your clairvoyance, your third eye. God showed me a vision of this and that, right? And you people here, and I'm not a Bible pusher, because the Bible has been distorted. Not everything in the Bible has been distorted, but the Bible has been distorted, baby. You teach his own free will if you want to believe in that or not, all right? Now, Akashic Records, check it out. I know they're trying to take it from me. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So Bible, dang, they just took it to the point that I was finna make. Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's trying to come back. Bible pusher. Oh, shit. Damn, I was on the road and I totally forgot what I was gonna say. They keep trying to put it back, but it keeps trying to like be deleted. But let me go back to the point I was trying to make. Gaslight. So it's like the dark side had to gaslight the society for centuries in order for us, right? Because I'm a part of that. I've had several lifetimes here. In order for us to stick to a programming that the dark side benefited from. The light side does not benefit from this, okay? And so basically, oh, right, I was talking about mental health and how the terminologies that they use in mental health and medical diagnosing is the physical terms for the spiritual warfare that they are enduring in the spiritual realm, but people might not know because God gave us free will to believe in certain things, right? But there's only one truth. There's only one truth. And I'm going to leave that there. There's one truth, but there's several religions. Why we need several religions for one truth? You feel me? So, So just letting you guys know, some of you guys, you need extractions, okay? You need a psychic surgery and Reiki. You need the works here, okay? You need you need a therapist or a coach that is metaphysical in nature, so that you can speak and talk about, oh, I had a dream, or I was in different dimensions, or I was astral traveling, and this and that was happening. What does this mean, or what's happening? When you go through different spiritual initiations and shit like that. Oh, I was talking about that too. Um, Hey, every time I get ready to talk about that, it gets taken from my mind. Akasha records are supposed to be. Listen, eh, you got that right. The Akashic records is basically the all-knowing that God has um created for us. Every thought we have ever had, every emotion, every life we've ever lived, right? Our soul contracts, what we're made up as, our bloodlines, details, everything. You name it. It has it, okay? God made, heavenly made. Um, which means you have to like be trusted with this, when you use it, because there are those that have used it for, for for reasons that weren't good. Okay. So with everything that I've just said here, a lot of you guys are overcoming different ailments, you're overcoming different problems that have been plotted against you by the enemy, okay? Spiritually and in the physical realm, right? And like I was saying, like in cahoots. Different organizations been in cahoots with these dark galactic beings, because these dark galactic beings need us, because God created us. So they need different light codes we have. They need different keyholes we have. They need different, what you call it. So it's like they come and they send downloads and messages, use the telepathy to communicate, right? They don't have to open their mouth. Hey, we get if we give you power and control, can we have access to your codes? And so then these low people in high places start making these deals with these dark otherworldly beings, and then we wondering why systemically we got all this bullshit going on. Now, mind you, that's on a systemic level, societal level. This has also been happening on an interpersonal level as well. Okay. That SpongeBob episode is coming to my mind. It was coming up the other day. I forgot what happened to the Krusty Krab. I think a new owner. Yeah, it was either bought by a new owner temporarily, because it ain't last long, or whatever the case may be. And the new owner had SpongeBob making Krabby Patties from like this machine. Wasn't even doing shit. He was like moving a stick, and it was like dropping it out. And when people took a bite, you see like gray like muck right inside. And then Squidward was doing something, and he wrote "help me" and like this on the sheet so that Mr. Crab could see it. And then when the new owner came over and says, what are you doing? You know, he's like, oh, I was just telling Mr. Krabs that this section right? To try to play it off. And so Mr. Krabs like, what's going on here? Why we right? So Mr. Krabs going like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? So in this scenario, we represent Mr. Krabs. We the chosen ones. We, with the missions that God has and assignments that God has assigned for us, we are supposed to be asking the questions. Well, if we're not using the 90% of our brain and we're only using 10%, what does the 90% make up, and why aren't we using it? Right? If people were used to live this long, 4, 5, 500 years, 6, 7, 900,000, 2,000 years, well, why aren't we living that? Why? It's not just the food that's the problem. That is a big problem. It's not just the food. People not questioning, right? So going back to that episode, um, SpongeBob represents the hidden slavery of things. People were being told to work 40 hours a week when that's not what God wants us to do, making us pay for things that God gave to us for free, like fruits and vegetables and shit like that. Um, all the rest of that. The enemy can definitely block your gifts. A lot of people's gifts are blocked. Do you know that people are supposed to literally be out here like the Marvel characters? Telepathy is real, telekinesis is real. Um Shit, levitation is real. People's spiritual gifts are suppressed because of the spiritual programming. All right. So you need to get the dark spiritual programming to be removed. Oh, and that's not the only thing. You have to revoke and nullify out different promises and vows that were made back in different lifetimes. If you believe in reincarnations, you have to get that spiritually revoked. If you have the authority, you can do it, or you have to find somebody that has the authority. They have to do it for you at divine headquarters, okay, spiritual court, so that you can get rid of the legal rights that the kingdom of hell has over you using and having access to your full abilities. And when people don't know that that's what they need to do, especially when they've been programmed to believe that, oh, if you see a spirit walk through the wall, you're sick. When clairvoyance. Was Moses sick when God appeared to him in a burning bush? No, motherfuckers say he's gifted. Was Moses sick when he parted the Red Sea with his staff? No, motherfuckers say he gifted. But the minute somebody say, oh, this angel appeared to me and I saw their wings, or I saw a vision, or I saw such and such stand right in front of me. Oh, they sick. Oh, you're seeing things. You must be having a hallucination. Now, don't get it twisted, because this is where we were talking about earlier, the mental health terminology of things, right? So if a person is seeing, like, constantly seeing demons, constantly hearing negative, clairaudiently, so clairvoyantly, you seeing demons and negative things that are negative, they're putting there constantly with implants. Those are provoked hallucinations, and that is in relation to what they call schizophrenia, or schizo effective, okay? Schizo bi effective. um if you constantly, DID, you overcoming a whole lot of trauma, and let's say your brain starts fragmenting, right? So these portals, what people don't know spiritually, when that happens, these portals and things, these gateways start opening, and these energies, these entities start getting inside. You start getting all these entity attachments and all these other things, and these aspects start showing up, these different fragments of self and souls. And so then it feels like they start developing their own identity and so on and so forth. But also, when you don't know the spiritual aspect of what's physically in the physical realm going on for you, yeah, you're gonna label it as DID, dissociative identity disorder. Okay. So, but however, you can reintegrate those parts. So in mental health, we call it doing parts work, so that in spirituality, right? The idea is to get all of those soul fragments together, um, become one with your parts, right, that became fragmented during the traumatic states. And that takes work and deliverance with the Holy Spirit. Mind you, everything that I'm talking about, you need God for. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. Right? But this is why you have to be mindful of the practitioner you go with. Okay. And so yeah, so just letting you know, like, the mental health names and medical terminologies that you hear is basically letting you know that you have a spiritual code, and the type of spiritual code that you have going on. What you need to learn is, what's the spiritual issue that's going on with you that's manifesting in the physical realm as lupus, or as cancer, or as depression, or as BPD, you know. Now, mind you, this information is for those that resonates with being spirituality. If you are a Christian, if you are a Catholic, you've never heard of the word Akashic Records a day in your life. I know, because I was Christian Catholic for over 30 years. Okay, been there, done that. I do not resonate with being a Christian or a Catholic at all. Okay, I used to be one of you. I used to be, oh, this, that, and third. I was only going off of the doctrines that I was being taught. But if you only go off of what you're taught within one doctrine, and you don't do your other research, of course you're going to be limited. You're putting yourself in a fucking box, right? So I have my own personal experiences. I have my own relationship with the Most High, Yahweh, Yeshua the Christ, uncloaked, contaminated, uncompromised, okay? I have my own prophetic dreams, and so on and so forth. So different things that people deem as one thing, I could say another, okay? And so this platform may not be for you. If you over here, say, oh, that's not real, okay. We're just not for you, sweetheart, and that's okay. Go find someone who is for you. Take your free will on, right? Well, hey, if later on down the line, or you open to learning, you want to look up what the Akashic records are, hey, it's no secret. There's information out there. It's proof. Go look up what the Akashic records are. Go look up what clairvoyance is. Go look up what clairsentience is. Go look up what clairaudience and clairgustance and what's that, claircognizance is. I bet you've experienced at some degree those supernatural experiences. You just didn't know what it was. Okay? But hey, free will. Because again, even God gave you free will to even believe in him or not as a choice. When God is very real. Right? Oh, I believe in the Akashic Records too, honey. I think it's one of the best things ever. I freaking live in it. I know we are different expressions of the Most High, and I can't wait till we get on one accord. Literally. So, like, after all of that has been said, right? This is what you guys like have been powering through. This is what you guys have been like having the strength to do through all the plots of the enemy, on a society basis, on an interpersonal basis, just trying to make it happen, some of you guys, it may feel like you are being punished for trying to break chains of poverty, or trying to break chains of bad health in your bloodline, or whatever the chains are. And let me tell you something, there is a thing in the Akashic records where you will have to revoke. So, like, for example, I found out that there was something that ancestor of mine made, like a vow of promise, and it's something that I made, we got hijacked in a past lifetime, where the demons was trying to use it as justification to attack my bloodline and siphon our energy. right? So every time like I kept clearing something, they felt like it was justified for them to keep coming back, or they felt, or like let's say like now. They don't when I'm trying to eat something, okay, my throat chakra, I'm trying to eat something, or I'm trying to speak the truth, they will feel like, oh, you speaking the truth. So we in this lifetime, da, 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 da. Now, it's spiritual treason because I done clear some shit. That's what I'm saying. Right now, they just don't give a fuck. It's spiritual treason at this point. But they was attacking me because in a lifetime they felt like, oh, you vowed or you promised to only use your voice for at this, or not to use your voice for that, or use your gifts in this way, or da 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 da, or to let us siphon, or da 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 da. Which that was not in regards to that. They hijacked my shit and was using some other outdated contracting and stuff from other ancestral lineages to just as justification. So it felt like every time I ate, I would be spiritually punished. It felt like every time I spoke the truth, I would get spiritually punished. It still feels like that, right? Some of you guys, it feels like, dad, how come when I make money, it feels like I'm being punished for making money? Or how come when I'm doing this, it feels like you're doing something good, but it feels like you're getting punished for it? There is a reason. There is a spiritual reason. Okay? There's a spiritual reason. And some of it doesn't have to just be past life related. Some of it could just be present. Like somebody's literally physically attacking that area, and you need to clear the curses off that in that area and return it back to senders. So you can call your power back. You've seen spiritual forces at play? Absolutely. And it's such a blessing to be able to know and see, because like you can't do anything with information you genuinely don't know or have. you know what also is frustrating when you've awakened, you have reached a level of awakening that others haven't yet, and it just feels like you are like on a whole nother planet when you awaken, because it's like, oh, well, this is the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth. So what the hell? What the hell I've been living in this entire time? Fucked up ass programming. Listen, but you know what? We keeping on, right? We don't give up. Just like I came on here, and you're not saying that you guys have to do the same thing. This was just something I resorted to because of the type of abuse I am overcoming that doesn't at this time allow me to do the things I would usually cope with. Um don't give up. Don't give up, because that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to. Lucifer is doing everything he can to keep his empire. Okay? So he's trying to do everything he can. We are extensions of God, right? So he's trying to do everything he can to so that God's plan doesn't come to pass. Okay? So if he feel like he gotta oppress you, if he feel like he gotta da 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 da, that's if he feel like he can get your family, your friends, and all the rest of this shit to turn on you, so that da, 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 that's that, and that's what he's been doing. He's been trying to do any and everything to keep you guys from being in your purpose. Okay, by using those that are, I don't want to say weak, because I don't usually like to say that, because everybody has growing edges, but that's typically at this point what it is. Because for my chosen ones, the more attack you get, it's not because you're weak, it's because you're a threat to his system. For the ones that he really don't like get down with it like that, they either a part of the program or they too programmed to even, so he feel like he got them. He don't have to do too much, because he feel like, oh, okay, you chained to the motherfucking, you chained to my tomb. So I don't have to do nothing too much to you. So I ain't saying that, if you going through warfare, that, oh, yay, no. That's not fun. Okay? Abuse is not okay. Also, it lets you know that you doing something right, right? I mean, when we think about Yeshua, like, oh my gosh, like that was like a hard ass mission. Like, bruh. They was saying that he was doing black magic. Like, how? Because the motherfuckers was there. They was calling him the devil. They was making fun of him. They was shunning him. They abused him just because he was doing his mission, just because he was healing people, just because he was bringing the medicine that God needed in order to open the gates of heaven. Right? So for some of you guys, that's for some of you, you're overcoming so much warfare. It's like, dang, am I doing something wrong? No. And in this reading, no. You're doing what you're supposed to do. What the dark side is trying to make you feel like it's otherwise, so that they can eliminate you. They don't have, you won't, you can't bypass his shit, right? So it's like, but smoke and mirrors, illusions. No, you are doing what you're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be up and up on Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts when it comes to like drinking caffeine galore, because we trying to keep up with the pace of working 40 hours and all the rest of that. No, no. That's something that we decided to do as a form of a coping, so that we can keep up with something that was it's been slowly and silently us, when we're supposed to have a much longer lifespan spiritually. Okay, via Akashic Records. If you know, you know. Hey, free will. Okay. Also, at the same time, when you have so much ancient galactic knowledge and you're in a realm and you've awakened so much to a point where you are in a realm that has not caught up to where you are in the knowledge that you know, it feels like you are ostracized. Like it feels like you are in a middle of nowhere. So I hope that, if you found this channel, that this is some sort of hub for you, as like oh, all right, well, me too. Oh, all right, like I can feel safe here. This aims to be a safe place. That's the intention. We're babies. We need that. Why? I don't do Ouija boards either. I do a lot of things. I just don't do Ouija boards and a few other things. The Book of Enoch was taken out because, per Akashic Records, it was taken out, not that it was supposed to be, but it was taken out because of what the Book of Enoch, the contents within the Book of Enoch. Well, in the Book of Enoch, he talks about the different species of angels that he saw. Right, in the Book of Enoch, he talks about the Nephilims. He talks about the the angels that were supposed to come here to earth to do one thing, and they did sat up here and did another thing, that's also known now as the Watchers. Right. um it talks about more metaphysical qualities of things, about our powers, right? The things that God gave us innately that we are supposed to be able to do. Well, think about it. Going back to what I was just saying about the demonic systemic systems that people are having to overcome and to wake up to even know that they've been chained to a rhythm of slavery. It's just been gaslit, right? Well, in order to keep that narrative and push the narrative of us coming from a fucking monkey, they can't leave resources. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They can't leave like evidence. Thank you, Elizabeth. They can't leave evidence of that. Like if they're trying to make people not believe in that, if they're trying to make people think they're sick, if they're having visions and seeing shit. Now don't get it twisted though. If you sit up here seeing demons 24/7, not that you're not supposed to, but if that's the only thing you're seeing and it's fucking up your DNA structure and all your light codes and stuff, then you do have a spiritual code you need to overcome. With you having gifts, that doesn't mean you sick, right? Unless your gifts is being siphoned or it's been demonically, thank you, Holy Spirit, they're being demonically tampered with. Then you have a spiritual code, right? Um, so in order for them to keep pushing that narrative, they had to pull the evidence. And the Holy Spirit just reminded me, thank you, because they've been saying they look, the negative energy, they've been siphoning my energy. Going back to that SpongeBob reference. So in that episode where there was that new owner and Mr. Krabs was asking all those questions, right? And like I said, we the chosen ones. We come in here asking the questions. We assign the missions that's supposed to break out the interpersonal chains and the systemic chains. But it's been a bitch doing it, right? The new owner was like, "Oh no, we have a thinker. We have a thinker. Oh no." Right? The new owner did not want the staff to ask questions on why they were basically being abused. Hindsight, right? We have a thinker. We don't have just a worker. We have somebody who's using their brain. Oh no. Oh no. Because when they started asking questions, they were able to start defending themselves. And then the more they started finding things out, the more they was able to put two and two together and work together to help fight off a system that was not for them. And then they were able to get back to making Krabby Patties how they were originally supposed to be made, right? And so on and so forth. So kind of like here, you know, there are several different videos that's been going around showing Rockefellers talk about, hey, I don't want a world of thinkers. I want a world of workers, right? That's not what God wants, though. That's not what Almighty wants. God, Yahweh, Yeshua Christ, uncloak, contaminate, compromise. That's not what God wants. And we're here for what the Most High wants. We're here to do the will of the Most High. Most High wants us to use our innate gifts that He has given us, which includes us using our noggin. It includes us utilizing, our powers from within. Right? We're an extension. We are children. We're an extension of the Most High. Right? So we are meant to use our gifts. When we're constantly being stressed out by a 40-hour work week, it's particularly because I know as an entrepreneur, you're working like 24 hours. It's one thing though when your business is around your passion, a lot of that should feel therapeutic for you. Like for example, if you created like a candle business with making candles, it feels therapeutic for you while doing it. It's just, maybe the paperwork doesn't feel so good. That should feel fulfilling, right? Versus working a 40-hour work week at a job that has nothing to do with you, with what you want to do or whatever. You just making money because you need to survive, right? They tied money to survival when God provided a lot of these things for us to have for the free 99. Okay, so slavery was projected by a spiritual. Exactly, exactly, by spiritual forces, and manifested in the physical realm by different exchanges of promises and vows. Okay, people who had given up their freedom for protection, um people who had given up their abundance for security, right? And when you're talking about incarnations, well, if you didn't hash something out, if you didn't rectify something out in that lifetime, it's going to carry over into that next lifetime you incarnate to. Like Like people have like sick points, and some point sometimes depending on the job you at, they can roll over to the next month or the next year, right? Or PTO points. So something similar like that when it comes to incarnations. You don't hash that shit out in that lifetime, it's gonna carry over, right? In the form of karmic debt or a situation just for you to hash that out so you can close that out and so you can have something new come in. That's much better for you. But again, when the truth is spreaded out in different religions, right? So, like for example, according to the Akashic Records, incarnation is the truth. That's it. That's all. Right? You could be a baby soul where this is your first incarnation, but for a lot of other souls, it's not your first incarnation. However, let other religions tell it, there is no such thing as incarnations. Other religions say it are, right? So the truth is spread it out. But going back to the book of Enoch, right? I hope that explains. If they left hardcore evidence, and mind you, everybody is not about the Bible. Everybody doesn't believe in it. I do believe in it. I don't believe in everything in it because some of that material is definitely distorted. Okay? But it still has value. All right? You just have to let God navigate you and provide different like context, right? And so on and so forth as you're going through it. It's just that if a lot of people are going hard for the Bible and it is Bible, like they live and by it. If they left that piece of evidence, and mind you, Enoch is not the only book that was taken out, by the way. If they left something like the book of Enoch in the Bible, something that people religiously go to for direction and guidance, they would know we wouldn't be able to be enslaved. Basically, it is so in a nutshell. We would not be able to be enslaved the way that we have been tricked into. And now it's like, oh, everybody's waking up and realizing how much damage has been done over centuries and lifetimes over. And mind you, because when we incarnate, for those of you guys that don't know, we go through a veil of forgetfulness. The degree we go through can vary soul to soul. However, we go through the veil of forgetfulness, and then you come in this type of program, and then you from love and light, baby. It's very gaslighting, right? Going back to that word. Is it possible? Oh, it's very. I mean, so if you free will, right? If your beliefs are in alignment with reincarnation, okay. And if you believe in Akashic records, and you can go in there and you can find this out yourself, then it is very possible that when a person pass away, you can definitely reincarnate. Now, you may not reincarnate right away. Okay, you typically, depending upon, you will go through this thing called like a viewing, okay, where you are like viewing, like if you let's say if you are a parent or something, you will see like your child or like how your actions basically impacted like that of that bloodline. You'll go through some, like your soul will go through like a resting period in a sense. You may go through some training to prepare you for the next lifetime, depending upon what type of soul you were, depends upon where you're gonna go for that duration as well. Okay, before you incarnate back into this earthly school realm. We are not the only realm. There are several other realms. This realm, though, however, the earthly realm is the toughest one. Okay, it is the hardest one. Now, as far as being reborn with the same knowledge, so basically, this is what an awakening is for. Okay, per the Akashic records, and you people can have these awakenings and remember like the past lives at different ages, right? Like their souls, they can be like age like 6 or 7, and they can remember like, oh, in my past lifetime, like I passed away from this. I remember that. I remember going in my past. I remember going to a store and buying this. They start remember, have some of their past life memories start coming into play even at that age. Not for everybody, and then there's others where even myself, but some people have dreams of them in their past lives, but they don't know that is them, and they don't know. Hey, what's goody? What's goody? Some people have like dreams of their past lives or visions of their past lives, but they don't know that that's what that is. Especially if they are in a family or in a part of a religion or organization that does not believe in that. See, and that's another thing. When the truth is scattered, it's easier to control the people, right? So that's where getting the whole truth and nothing but the truth from the Akashic records, the library that God created, is the spiritual library that God created, is so important. Okay. And there's other ways, downloads and channel messages. However, oh, and just make sure, if you're going through the Akashic records, make sure it's uncloaked, uncontaminated, and uncompromised, because the dark side tries to make copy versions. I wasn't feeling that good today, so I had to come on here and I vented a little bit, and then I started doing a reading. I'm glad that you are having a good Saturday. And your memories can be wiped clean by these implants. So there's implants called memory persecution cursed. There's implants called memory wipe issues. There's implants called shit, I forgot what the other ones, but there's different implants. And basically, like, they wipe your memory, kind of like if you ever seen Men in Black and they have that little spray or that little thing and it just um that's what it can do, in a form, in a sense. Now, there are these things called psychic cords, okay? Psychic harvesting cords. And a lot of people don't know that they have these psychic harvesting cords. And basically, what they do is it siphons like your knowledge, it siphons your life force, it siphons your the knowledge that you have. It siphons your dreams. So, and I've witnessed this in real time several times, of me literally being in the dream, and I'm conscious in the dream, and I'm seeing the dream being pulled away from me by the psychic cord, so that I won't be able to remember it. Um and then there was there's several times, but I'm just sharing a few. There was another time where there was a paranormal one would deem this as a paranormal activity thing, um occurrence that was happening, and they were siphoning energy from me. And as they were, I know that they were siphoning because I could clairsentiently feel them siphoning. And as they were siphoning, I could feel the memory, because I was trying to um remember what the paranormal activity thing was. So you know uh, I was just trying to remember. And so um what I had to do was tether it. I had to tether the experience so that I could go back to it to remember. So, um, so basically, they were doing that because they didn't want me to remember the experience, so I wouldn't be able to talk about it, so that I wouldn't be able to share it, right? Um, why? So that's why. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so that's why, because they don't. So this ties back to gaslighting. This ties back to the only way they're able to gaslight is if you don't know the truth. And if you know the truth, they don't want you talking about the truth. So the more that they feel like they can make you forget, so that they can have power and control over you, that's what they gonna do. That's what they've been doing, and that's why we are a part of the reason why we are here, so that we can help raise the collective and purify. The divine wants a reordering of things. Then they are kind of fresh from coming. That's a factor too. When so that's so like you know how people say babies can see angels like really vivid, like when they're babies and stuff like that, because of one of their innocence. Two, they haven't been bogged down by the world as of yet. A lot of the implants and all the rest of that stuff. You know, the pure thing is, I mean, like this, the purity level, and not just by actions of treating people, but also, I mean, that's a factor, but also the other muck that we've been talking about too, that people don't know that is also uh, making our bodies obsolete and difficult for us to express our gifts, especially when we are taught that our gifts like, oh, you can do telekinesis. Oh no, you're sick. No, God gave me this gift. I'm not using anything to do this. Telepathy, you can intuitively communicate. Oh, you're sick. No, you're not. You're gifted. What? You heard God clairaudiently. What? You heard Archangel Michael say what to you? What? I can't see Archangel Michael. I can't see Archangel Gabriel. Who are you talking to? Who you talk? What? What? Blessed Virgin Mary came to you. What? You're sick. No, you're not. You're gifted. You're gifted. You are that you may appear as such to someone who doesn't believe in having spiritual experiences or believe in clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairalliance, clairgustance. And again, we talking about beliefs. God gave us free will. So people have different beliefs, right? They're allowed to. But just because you may believe in one thing doesn't automatically make it true. And just because you believe in one thing doesn't mean that it is true, right? We're here for the truth. This is the time for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Why is this so? And who is they for them? Don't understand. We are collective conscious. They refers to the people who deem people as being sick, crazy, or lunatic when they are speaking about um the ways in which they communicate with the divine, right? So some people were declaring that Moses was a lunatic because he said that he had an encounter with God, and the way God appeared was through a burning bush. God used the elements of earth and fire to communicate with Moses to give instructions and to give the 10 commandments, right? But that was how God chose to appear to Moses, right? But Moses is not a lunatic because that's how God chose to appear. And Moses is not a lunatic for clairaudiently hearing God. See, a lot of people don't talk about the ways that God communicates with people because for a long time, um, the ways in which people's gifts were coming online was being demonized, right? Like people were so afraid to talk about their experiences because they didn't want to be sent to what they call a nut house, right? They didn't want to be uh you know in a straitjacket somewhere, right? Understandably so. What they didn't know is that they needed a spiritual teacher, they needed a shaman, they needed a minister who also has prophetic gifts, right? Who also has encounters with, John the Baptist, right? Saint Benedict, Blessed Virgin Mary, right? Works with the archangels or the different species here, right? So I hope this is some confirmation and clarity for you guys. Oh, absolutely. There's implants that allow so there's it's dark programming. All right, because God is really supposed to be the only energy that's supposed to be into our thoughts, and select spirit team members, and our archangel beings with that's a safe space. The dark galactic beings have these implants that um siphons your thoughts so they can like get a feel of what you're thinking or what you about to do and such, right? Because them alone can't read your mind. Only God and that is what she deems to can. All right. Oh, and also too, because I meant to say this in the reading yesterday and I totally forgot. One of the things that has been that I've been overcoming is my downloads being interjected. So like the Holy Spirit or my spirit team, the angels, or somebody's spirit team trying to send me a download, and in the midst of it, it'll get siphoned, and I'll feel, because it'll be like a synchronicity, a tap, a sound, and I'll also feel like a life force being sucked, like, and it's just like, oh my gosh, how rude! Like how rude, you know? Um, there's implants that allow them to hijack your downloads, the information that you're being given, and they do that so that they can get a sneak peek into the galactic sourceful information that you are receiving from the Most High, or your spirit team, and all the rest of that. They are not supposed to do that. Um, with just letting you know. But the thing is that a lot of these things people already experience. You know how I'm saying I tell you what my physical experience is, and I'm telling you what the spiritual meaning behind the physical experience that I'm experiencing in the present, right? But can you imagine people experiencing these physicalities, and they don't know the spiritual meaning behind it, which means they don't know what actions to take when they see this. A lot of people were just taught that, oh, this is just your anatomy. That's just your anatomy. And in a lot of cases, that's all they really can say, because that's what they were taught in school, unfortunately. The medical professionals, that's what they were taught in school. They weren't taught about removing spiritual implants and hooks and all the rest of that stuff, and what it means, and how it can fuck up your body in the physical realm when that shit is happening in the spiritual realm. Because the spiritually believing in spirituality, that's made an option. That's not made as mandatory. Believing in God has been made an option. It hasn't been made mandatory. So it's up to you to get down to the nitty gritty, find out what the truth is, and live in that truth. What they don't tell you is that, it can feel depressing when you really don't know what the truth is. And then when you find out what the truth is on the other side of things, it can kind of still feel a little bit depressing, because it's like, well, dag, if I'm supposed to be living like this, how the fuck am I supposed to live like this and everybody else living like that? And you feel me? And then you like, but if I try to live like this, there's laws around here. Like how? Like God, what? How did we even get here? And then it goes back, and then you come back to this video. Right? So I hope this answers your questions and stuff like that. But, but just know that if you have made it over to the other side and you feel sad because it's like, dang, I know the truth, but it's hard to like walk in it because everybody else is living in this other truth, but this truth is a fake truth. This the slavery type truth, but they don't know that because they was programmed as fuck in it. And you woke up from the fucked up programming. It's just like, oh Lord, like please, I can't like can you create like another world within this world that we can live in until everybody else catch up? Like, you feel me? So, yeah. All right. So, these people, these beings and people that have been plotting. She said, I want to hear more from you. Can you tell me about me? If you would like future services from me, you can feel free to email me. The link is in the description box. And when I am offering my services, whether that be coaching, tarot, whatever the case may be, you can get the scoop. Okay, I might come on any of my social media platforms and maybe do like some like little personal reads. So if you subscribe or you follow, you can catch that there. Okay. But I am definitely glad to hear that you fuck with the vibes. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. So as we were saying here, yeah, you guys have been like powering through and pushing through all of this bullshit. Okay, societal wise and interpersonal wise. And with this Three of Pentacles in reverse, it's giving like these energies are like trying to like act quickly. And I remember I got a download about that. Like energies that have been trying to like they're trying to blackmail you into doing things that like, okay, well, hey, if you go ahead and did this, you wouldn't be going through that. If you do this, we're gonna do that, da, da, da. And it's just like, so it's just it's not in your head, and this could be a form of spiritual blackmail and or physicality of things, right? These energies, they're also trying to hurry up and do things before judgment has been casted. Okay, before they like have to pay this back. It's like they're trying to hurry up and rush and get things to go in their favor before God strikes. But God already see what you're trying to do. It's like God already sees, God already saw. It keeps going back to this Moses type of thing. God already knew Pharaoh was going to tell Moses no both times. He already knew that. He told Moses that. He said, Pharaoh is going to say no, but I need you to go anyway. Right? I need you to go, and I need you to deliver this message to Pharaoh. He's going to tell you no, but I need you to do it. He went. Pharaoh was stuck up his ass, right? All right. He sent Moses. God sent Moses back again. Okay, I need you to do this message because the thing is, here's this. When God casts judgment on people, he literally has to even ask himself, well, what opportunities or what did warnings did I give? Right? Okay. Now, when I did do this and when I did do that, what was their actions? Right? Because God is fair. He's gonna check himself, then he's gonna check everybody else, right? And so Pharaoh wasn't trying to move, right? So then God was like, okay, God, if Pharaoh minds you, God sent like what 10 different type of plagues, and it took God for him to take his son, for Pharaoh to like even believe that the shit that was happening, that God was real, right? It took Pharaoh literally led his troops into a divine trap where all he had to do was listen. He got him and his crew killed at the bottom of the water. Right? Because remember when Moses parted the sea and they was able to make it through perfectly, but God allowed the water to collapse on Pharaoh and them because They wouldn't stop attacking them. They wouldn't stop. So that's given it may feel like you being spiritually attacked nonstop, and God is like, remember what I did with Pharaoh and them. God is like, remember what I did with them. If I could do it with them, I could do it for you, type of thing. Some of y'all are from that era. Not a wands in reverse, okay? Yeah, motherfuckers, it's like motherfuckers still trying to play, and you over here trying to like overcome they bullshit, overcome their shittiness, overcome their player ways. Whether this is someone, a lover, a family member, or a coworker that's been fucking with you, playing with you. This is also systemic systems too that you've been battling as well, and the fucked up demonic partnerships that they formed and made, right? Five five of wands. Yeah, that's why it's been feeling like it's been such a battle. It's this back and forth battle. Uh Page of Swords in reverse. Yeah, that you can't see, right? Like this unseen battle of wars and principalities, because this has been not only a war, but a war that has never been before had. This is not your ordinary type of thing here. Okay? They still not learning their lessons. They being so prideful. They're being so prideful, honey. So prideful. They think they know it all. They don't know nothing at all, okay? With this Hermit card in reverse. They're not learning the lessons. They're not getting it. So it's kind of like God is strong arming them. God is humbling them because, they know it all. And because of the strong arm here, they're in the Five of Pentacles. So your enemies are, it's like everything is falling for them. Everything is falling. The Emperor walls is falling. The walls of Jericho is falling. Everything is falling. London Bridge is falling down. Ooh, excuse me. Spiritual birth confirmation, right? Everybody's gonna be able to see everything and what was the cause and all the rest of that, right? Mm-hmm. And all the burdens that you feel like you was carrying, it's like it's gonna be no more. Those people that was in slavery, that was carrying them heavy ass buckets of water, that was sitting there getting whipped on the back if they weren't moving fast enough, or moving them pyramids fast enough, or putting up them bricks, or what they were doing listen, burden no more, chain no more. Okay, and that's why motherfuckers is trying to fight you so hard, because they feel like they losing property, and we ain't nobody's property except God. We are gifts. We're gifts. We are gifts. Okay? Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah, to these ungrateful asses. Listen, okay? Low people who are pussies, and low people in power with this Queen of Wands in reverse energy. Exactly, okay? Living a life of what living the life that you're supposed to be living. Okay? In a sense. Here. Because not anymore. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Okay, listen, look. What's this? Yeah, well, the fortune they done racked up so much bad karma. They done racked up so much bad karma. Wheel of Fortune in reverse with the Four Swords in reverse, baby. They health is bad. Look, we saw the Five of Pentacles. They ain't got no money. They ain't got shit. They ain't got the funds to get the medicine they need to help them with the ailment they got. Okay. They ain't got no roof over their head. Okay. They facing eviction notices. They gotta sell all their shit just so they can get some food, some groceries. But that's because of how they treated you and others. This is the judgment. Okay, they dirty laundry being aired out and shit like that. Okay, that's why they're trying to blackmail, because they don't know what to do. Two wants over, they don't know what to do. They didn't think this was gonna happen, right? They thought she was sweet. They thought she was sweet, And it wasn't. And it wasn't. Okay. Oh, thank you. We got Venus here. Stingy, materialistic, jealous, possessive, stubborn, complacent, poor, nostalgia, bad ideas, breakups, lack creativity. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, they jealous of you. They remember how I was saying earlier, they need us. They need our goals. They need our creativity. They need the God in us. It's the God in me. Mary. They Cause they ain't got no love. Venus in reverse. Venus is look, listen. They don't have it. The shit's unbalanced. That's why the scale's in reverse. Okay? Cause Taurus, you have a Taurus energy. I don't give a fuck if you don't feel like you have Taurus anywhere in your chart. You're in the energy of it, okay? You're elegant, perseverance, patience, reliable, organized, honest, understanding, intelligent, right? Your sensuality, you're a great listener, you're diligent, you're stylish, right? And they're trying to harvest off of that because they don't feel like they have it. That doesn't make it right. Or this is what you're trying to do, whatever side of the story that you guys are on. All right. So it's like they want you to be understanding. Where was their ability to understand and give grace when you needed it, right? It's given like going back to Moses. No, not Moses. This is the story of Joseph. When God like got him out the pit, in a sense, right? Got him out that situation, and he became king. And he had all basically he had food and resources to feed nations, right? Some of the people that he ended up giving stuff to was the very ones that sat there and betrayed him, was the very ones that sat there and put him in that situation because of their betrayal. Listen. So it's giving your enemies is going to be coming to your doorstep because you have exactly what they need. But also at the same time, it's giving let go and let God. Okay. So I know in the story of Joseph, like he ended up helping them, but depending upon where you are, that doesn't, like if they text you and ask for money, that don't mean you're supposed to give them money. God may say, okay, you can give them some water, but that's it. Like, or nothing at all. You can love them from afar, you know. So you said this to yourself today, confirmation. I was just gonna say confirmation. Okay. Progressive, analytical, unique, independent, free spirit, idealistic, smart, attractive. See, all of these things. All of these things is what you guys are possessing. See the higher wisdom, see the intuition, clarity, clairvoyance. They envy your gifts. They envy your ability to just love you. They feel like they don't have what it takes, but that doesn't mean that they were supposed to steal from you. That doesn't mean that they were supposed to lie on you. That doesn't mean that they were supposed to fuck up opportunities or make shit hard for you, to be in your path and purpose just because they felt out of place. That was wrong. Yep, see, chosen. And your cup, you see how the water's coming out the cup. You guys, your cup is about to overflow if you feel like it's not already, okay? Because this is a timeless reading. This could be past, present, or future information for you, okay? Divine mission, authentic leader, a guide, powerful, old soul, warrior spirit, calling, connection with spirit. Yeah, look, red pill. You guys have been on a mission here, our chosen ones. Okay, dealing with these different energy vampires, and you're learning who these energy vampires are on an interpersonal base and a systemic societal base, right? And we have the energy of Saturn here. Mugs is going to get their karma, okay? What goes around comes back the fuck around. And that's a promise, okay? Akashic Records. Okay, listen. I love it. The Hall of the Akashic Records, baby. We live in it. You have access to infinite database, the ability to unlock secrets from the past, present, and future. You have access to great wisdom, healing, info, and psychic connections through grounding and purification. It did not say that this is the time for not just purification individually, but systemically as well, right? The world and the universe, because I've said this in other readings. God hasn't just been testing people in the physical realm. God has been testing bloodlines in the unseen realms too, because when this judgment day comes in specific and not just days, it's different. Well, um everybody's going through it. All the souls, all the spirits, listen, everybody, every realm, everybody, everybody, baby. God has put me, and sometimes have left me in situations just to test people, to see how they was gonna work, do the situation or whatever, and to see how their bloodline in the unseen was gonna respond as well. Then he might reveal to you who I am before I leave your establishment, or whatever. You might find out later. Baby, look. Listen, okay? Final message here. Final message here. And that's some of the things. Some of you guys, God has been using you guys to test people and their bloodlines in the seen and unseen. How they gonna handle you in the spirit realm? What they gonna say? What word gonna get around? How these people gonna treat you in the physical realm when they find out you got this going on? Or what they gonna do? Because God knows who he blessed with what and how much. All right. So, final messages, Holy Spirit, yo, we got your present, focus, terminate, uncompromised. Okay. Thou prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Exactly. And see, we were talking about the Bible earlier. See, and this is one of the things that is tried and true, right? The book of Psalms, Proverbs, different. You have to allow God to lead and guide you through the parts that, are tried and true, and he'll provide clarity for you as you are reading different things. If you're reading a certain passage and he wants to clean something up, he'll do that. All right. So just to let you know. All right. So God is preparing a table for you, my babies. Okay. God knows you've been overcoming suffering. God knows you tired. God knows you exhausted. God knows you, and you angry with him. Like, that guy, look, come on, please. Like, I don't want to rush you, and I also don't want to be in this circumstance either. Two things can be true at one time, baby. Can you make something shake a little bit fast or something? I don't know, you feel me? It be like that sometimes. You got to be real, because this is how it is when you have a relationship with God. It's not always gonna be rainbows, gumdrops, and sunshines when you on these type of missions. But that going back to the very, very beginning of this video rather, of me venting, right? No matter what you're going through and no matter how bad it is, always know that God is there. Right? So think about those times, and this is not to cause or provoke PTSD. If it is, don't do it. But think also, if it's not going to for you, think about those times where you thought God wasn't there, and then now apply everything that you may have heard in this video to this very moment and be like, wow, God really was there. Why did I feel so alone? Because maybe you wasn't physically supported properly the way that you needed to be, right? Which is not okay. even when you are on a mission. You know, like I tell people, when you are a soldier for the Holy Spirit, um spiritual aspects of things, right? So like when a person goes into the army, they're doing basic training, right? They're learning how to use a weapon and multiple different type of weapons, right? When they are on, so that when they're on the battlefield, they know what to use and when to use it, right? They also are taught, you know, the different types of things that their enemies may use as a form of like trying to get at them. Not that it makes it right, which then they have to learn, okay, well, what are the tools that we're going to use to combat that when that, if that does happen, right? So in this case, you know, and we were talking about going through the veil of forgetfulness. Well, a lot of people forget that, you know, they are a soldier for God, you know, or they remember that they are a soldier for God, or they know, they don't know what that all means and or what it looks like. And for a lot of people, oh, hello guys. And for a lot of people, you know, they come out the womb being on the front line as a baby. As a baby, I ain't even gonna stunt y'all. There's been times where I've literally made it by the grace of God. And God has literally used babies sometimes to just as a form of medicine, or a form for him to communicate through or do something. A infant, a fresh out the coochie infant. So it's like, you know, just knowing that there's different things, right? So rape, molestation, tampering of the mind, tampering of emotional abuse, verbal abuse, all of that is a part of spiritual abuse. That doesn't make it okay. It is a form of warfare. Just like a person throwing a grenade at somebody is the equivalent of like rape or molestation, right? Um, you know, and so but so a person typically may not think of it like that because they were never taught it that way, right? And they typically feel really violated because, you know, especially whether you were abused physically or spiritually or whatever, if the person's body has a response, right? Like an orgasm, we grown here, um, that doesn't mean that you liked it, right? So like for example, if a person is in a battle, on a warfare, they're in the army, and let's say, you know, their arm gets cut. Well, what's going to happen? Blood is going to come out. They have a wound, right? Well, the same thing is to that of a person that may have gotten raped or molested. Um, and if their body had a response, right? A orgasm or whatever the case may be. It doesn't mean that you liked it. It means that your body did what was going to happen when sex occurs, right? So like going back to that example of, oh, that person's arm bled because it was cut. That's what's going to happen when a person is wounded that way. So that doesn't mean that the person liked being cut. That doesn't mean that the person wanted to be cut, right? That doesn't mean that the person wanted to bleed. Bleeding is just what happens when a person gets cut, right? However, it may be less violating, right? When you think of it in the sense of a spiritual warfare, rape, molestation. If your body had a response, it's not that you like the sex, it's not that you like the person that did it. It's not that you wanted it. When people tell you that, that's a false fake programming, sweetheart. Okay? When your body has a response, that just means that's what happens when the act of sex happens. Just like when a person bleeds, that's the act of what happens when a person is wounded that way. All right? I hope that makes sense. It doesn't make it okay, but I hope that that can provide some clarity for you and get rid of any false programming of anything that a negative energy may have taught you or made you think that was false. All right. So we have left in the cold here. So oh my gosh. Yeah, so these energies essentially feel like they have been left out in the cold. So whether this be like this is a lover for you, coworker, family members, hell, these dark galactic beings that feel like, well, in this lifetime, y'all said, or in that lifetime, y'all did, and now you trying to pull out. Or now you trying to renege. And how we supposed to eat or how we supposed to maintain this power if you taking your power back that you said, because you said you wanted protection if we did da, 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 because the dark side is like, duh. We know, we understand. And I'm gonna say this. We already put out a message for those that want that needs has a need and you was getting that need met through us. You can still have that need met. You got to go about it through a different way now. And I gave you the video telling you what you got to do. And that's all I'm going to say. But you must keep attacking this way. It's not going to happen. You y'all know what Jesus did. You know what Jesus did. And that's all I'm going to say. All right. And so, but they feel upset, right? They feel upset. The dark galactic beings feel upset because they feel like they ain't gonna have the DNA structures or the codes or the key forms to complete their spacecrafts or complete their whatever missions or projects that they doing that they need the God power energy for that they can't get on their own. Your friend, your ex-friend or your ex-lover or this fucked up family member or fucked up coworker, they feel fucked up. And I'm saying this, they fucked up because they sat up here and tried to do all this shit to you. And now that God is providing for you what they tried to take from you or keep you from getting, they feel left out in the cold. And that's why God is trying to let you know, like, hey, if they try to come to you, remember, they're out in the cold because I had them in the cold because of what they did to you. That's like going back to the whole Moses situation. That's like going back to the whole Moses situation. That's like Pharaoh coming to Moses like, man, you left me out in the cold, man. You left me out in the cold. And Moses like, bruh, I came to you like twice and I tried to give you, I told you what God said. God sent you like 9, 10 plagues, fam. What you mean you feel left out in the cold? Look at all these warnings. What you mean? How you think these people out here that's getting whipped and carrying this heavy ass shit ain't seen the fruit in days feel? But you feel left out in the cold because you getting with the treatment that you done treated everybody else? Bruh. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't, it's not, because it doesn't, it's not sensible. It's like the audacity. We got grieving in reverse. Karmic spouse, baby. So for some of you guys, if you used to like be with somebody and they got with somebody else or they thought somebody else was like better, whatever the case is, we've gotten some readings like that. Their spouse could also be attacking you and watching you or some shit. Like maybe you don't know this, that they're secretly grieving. So out of spite, they've been doing shit behind the scenes. Not that makes it okay, just to make you aware. You know, or if this is like a karmic family members of whoever this is, okay? I'm hearing all involved. Spiritual authority, yeah. Somebody's trying to keep up their spiritual. It's like their demonic spiritual authority or some shit. Yeah, they trying to keep. They was trying to okay, so it's going back to this. They keep trying to energy harvest off the gifts and the codes and shit that God gave you, the life force that God gave you, right? And if you take all your power back, they'll have none, right? Dad, you really finna let God provide everything? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's how it's coming out. Didn't let you, Dad. You really finna let God? Yes, we finna let God provide everything. That's why they pissed off, because we was in the wrong, and we was trying to seek refuge from demonic housing. I'm sorry. That's how it's coming down. That's what happened. That's not everybody's case, but that's our, and we not wrong for feeling like we had no other option. Because in some cases, hey, slavery was real. Being lynched was real. Being killed. I'm unalive. Sorry, YouTube. Unalive was real. I mean, the times is. I mean, don't get it twisted now. People dying left and I'm sorry. People are being unalive left and right nowadays. We are in different times. It's just times, right? So, but now that we know, see, this is why they was trying to keep this information from us, because the more you know, the more questions you can ask and seek knowledge for, and get the actual help you need, instead of the band-aid that they keep trying to slap on everybody so it can like just provide ease and not get to the root of the issue. Because if you get to the root of the issue, they can't benefit off the shit no more. All right? 10-10, cycle complete. Cycle closed, new beginnings. Right? Purification can begin. Well, all I got to say is God already provided a solution for y'all. And I feel like this is the one-time thing, once in a lifetime type of thing. Yeah, that's why it is saving food about the mind, spiritual forces, not just waste. And absolutely, that thing became a partnership. But they had to dilute the truth so that they can also push the narratives of what they wanted to push to have power and control over people, period. But of course, free will to believe in any of this. You can check all spiritual facts through the Akashic records. Okay. All right. Yeah, burden barrier. You've been carrying too many burdens, baby. But now this is they burdens to bear. Okay. So please understand that while you are breaking free, they are pissed off because your freedom means that they lose power. And for the dark side, we already told you what you can do to help yourself. You might not want to go through the process. At least you know that there would be a light at the end of the tunnel versus the path that you're on now. And that's all I got for you. Okay. Entanglement, spirit baby. Some of you guys, there's a third party situation and a baby could be involved. Okay. That could be preventing maybe like a connection from coming together as quickly as you would like, or spiritual warrior. This is someone who failed the spiritual mission here because they were a wolf in sheep's. These cards came out together because they were wolves in sheep's clothing here. Okay, they told you lies, but in secret they were working with the enemy. They had plots with the enemy. They were doing dark and shady shit because they felt like you were a superstar. They saw who you are, right? Like they could see the light on you before you. They could see the anointing on you before you, right? Because it's like just you being you represented everything that they weren't. And that goes for both physicalities and behind the veil. And anything that is a threat to the kingdom of hell, the dark side be trying to be on that so that they can keep their fake authority. And I only say fake authority because people didn't know better when mugs didn't know everything that was going to be involved when people was seeking shelter and help and refuge and making certain deals. Now, in other cases, some knew depending upon what they was doing, others didn't. Like We didn't think that y'all was gonna sit up here and stick some fucking psychic cords in us, create fucking implant harnesses to steal from us spiritually, which is why mugs don't even believe that they have gifts. We watching, sitting there watching superhero type movies, saying, "Ooh, that would be cool if we could do that," knowing we supposed to be able to, but mugs don't know and being gaslit about the shit and shit because mugs knew. Then you know, man, and and the band played on. But now we know, because it's my super short show. All right. So I hope this was some sort of confirmation for you. We had a lot of stuff going on here, guys. Yo, spirit team, your ancestors, the love and light, your grandma's prayers is doing wonders for you. Okay, connect through meditation. Okay, so make sure you guys are meditating. You can meditate in your Akashic records. Okay, and you guys are receiving a new love here. So yeah, Karma says you're receiving everything back tenfold like Job. Everything back tenfold like you receiving everything back tenfold like Job. Everything back tenfold like Job. Okay? So thank you for kicking it with me. Billy Goat, aka Nikki T. All right, I am kind of feeling just a tad bit, you feel me, because baby, ain't no telling what's gonna happen, because I spilled the motherfucking bags, this bitch, okay, because why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? I ain't go through this shit just for no reason, and I ain't crying these tears for no motherfucking reason. I ain't going through this abuse for no motherfucking reason, and I ain't just finna sit here and do anything just because a motherfucker don't want me here in my motherfucking path. You got the tea. You got the tea. But this is also a once in a lifetime thing where for the longest of times, they God has not allowed those it particularly behind the veil to have any access to the kingdom of heaven. That's why they try to get what they can through God's kids, because codes and keys and other DNA makeup come from that of heaven. So them siphoning it from us through the means of hooks, implants, and other forms of dark programming, and psychic cords and parasites and entity attachments, and the list goes on. Um, that has been their go-to method, a fraction of it, to siphon what they feel like they can't get from the kingdom of heaven through God's kids, which we are an extension of, right? Well, now we are in the ending times. And I did a reading. And I titled it for this is for those that practice dark magic, or this is for those that practice black magic, something. That is for those on for that works for the dark side. Because so for those of you guys don't know, I am a very ranked messenger. That is one of from the kingdom of heaven. So, and this is pretty big, right? As far as the things that's happening, as far as the current events in the spiritual realm and the futuristic events in the spiritual realm, that and what's going to be manifesting here in the physical realm. Um, they are God is giving a chance for a few of those on the dark side. They have to go through a everybody has to go through a purification process. Everybody, everybody. The degree of in which of what you're going through is going to vary from bloodline to bloodline, and the seen and unseen. So like I've been going through my purification process, my bloodline too, in the unseen. We all listen. This is not just a physical thing. This is those in the spirit realm too. They had to get trained, everything. Everything. They got sick too. Everything. Everything. This is not something. This is a never before seen experienced war. People not ready. I done went through it. People not ready. They are not ready. It is a miracle that I am talking to you. I would not be here if it wasn't for God. And that's straight up facts. So I am here because of God. Okay? None else. None else. Now, people already had this plague. Their bloodlines already had this plague that they don't play the rapture part 2. And this is called the rapture part 2 because we already went through a rapture. We already had a book of Revelations. We already have been through the beast. The original beast was already released. Now this is part 2. God already banished that beast for 1,000 years. Now this is part 2. Now this is the second coming. Now this is the second ending. They do. They are a life form. Different souls can incarnate. Different souls can incarnate as animals. Different souls can incarnate as different life forms. So, you can have a soul that can have a lifetime as a tree. You can have a soul that can have a lifetime as an animal. You can have a soul. I had a lifetime as an animal. You can have and you can have one as an insect. You can have someone that's a butterfly, for a lifetime or whatever the case may be, and that's their experience. Okay, I hope that helps. No, it's not a stupid. There are no stupid questions here. Okay, the fact that you're even asking them is wonderful. Because remember, no matter how much you know, we will never know it all. We will always be the student and the teacher. Okay, so. I hope that helps. I hope that helps, guys. All right. And again, thank you for kicking it with me. Yeah, this message is here for everybody. For everybody. The light, dark, the in and out. All right, y'all. So that's what I got for you. Thank you all for your love and support here. To truly, truly appreciate it. And always remember, you make